Let me introduce you to Vinny. This is a 1979 Mercedes 450 SEL. Recently came out of 25 years of storage. It was originally purchased in Las Vegas, made its way up to Tacoma, and a friend of mine recently acquired it. So this is not my vehicle. But looking at this and looking at some of the things it needs, I decided I wanted to do a video series on reviving an old Mercedes-Benz. Not restoring it, but reviving it. And by that I mean taking it out of long-term storage, reasonably low mileage, this only has 150,000 miles on it, and bringing it back to a condition where it becomes a safe and reliable daily driver. So what I've done is I've come up with a 12-part video series, and I'm going to launch this video series now with part 1, and every day thereafter I will release the next part. And if you're wondering, by the way, why my friend decided to name this car Vinny, we'll tell you the story behind it in part 12. The person that my friend bought this car from did pull it out of that storage and got it running, and it really runs quite well. So in this little series of videos, I want to explain to you what you're going to need to do when you bring one of these old fuel-injected engines out of long storage. This has the K-Jetronic Bosch fuel injection. The very first thing you want to check, probably even before you drive the car, if it's been sitting a long time, don't drive it home, trailer it home. But the brakes are a big problem on these cars that sit, and it's very easy to check. You just hit the brakes, jack it up, and if you can't move the tire, you need the calipers replaced. Well, the previous owner, when he pulled this out of storage, he realized that was a problem, and he installed rebuilt calipers. So here you can see those replacement calipers. He also replaced the flexible brake hoses. That has to be changed in every one of these old cars. Do not leave the old flexible brake hose on. They can act like a check valve and actually lock up your brakes. You notice he did not replace the discs. There's some wear there. That's something my friend will have to look at in the future. But for the purpose of this checklist, we can check off brakes. And upon close inspection, it looks like the rears were not replaced, so that's going to have to be on the list. Number 2 on the list in this inspection is the fuel delivery system. And I've been harping on this for over 20 years. I can't believe how many of these I look at. You can see evidence here of the fuel pump leaking, but that's not the worst. Look at the hoses. Look at the braided hose here between the damper and the pump, and then look at the braided hose coming out of the fuel tank. I think if I twisted that, it would probably break. This is a safety issue. I wonder why you see these old cars sitting beside the road on fire. Here's a good example. Before he even continues to drive the car, at least the fuel pump and the hoses need replacing, but we're going to have to test the accumulator to see if that's ruptured also. And while we're back here, you want to check the boots on your axles. The boots will give you an indication of how much wear is in the spider joints. If you look here, we have no cracking in the boots. This car has about 150,000 miles on it. I assume these are the original axles, but they're passing inspection because of the quality of the boot. There is one simple thing you can replace on the suspension. It almost always goes bad on these old cars, and that's called the sway bar link, which hooks onto the sway bar here and then hooks onto the hub in this trailing arm. You can grab this and shake it if it clunks up and down, or if you're driving the car and it's clunking going over rough ground, it's usually these links that need to be replaced. The next important thing that you want to inspect, and this can leave you stranded, it can even destroy a transmission, if these flex discs here disintegrate while you're going down the road at 50 miles an hour. The previous owner replaced both flex discs with quality units, so that can be checked off as done. And after inspecting the flex disc, you want to check the center bearing carrier. Now, if you notice on this 450 SEL, there's a shroud over the exhaust that protects this, so it's a little hard to see, but the bearing can go, the rubber carrier can go, and you can actually get a clunking noise from your drive shaft while driving down the road. You can grab a hold of the drive shaft and shake it. If it moves up and down, that has to be attended to, but The previous owner told us these parts were replaced, so we can check that off the list. The next thing you want to inspect, and this is a very small thing, but it is a big safety issue, because I have purchased 2 cars that were smashed in the back end because the shift bushings were gone and the car came out of park. So you want to check the 2 bushings, the one here at the lever to the shifter and the one up at the transmission. Now the owner apparently replaced these, but look at this movement here. See that? That means the 2 bushings in the lateral shaft and the shifter are gone. Now we carry those on our website, but those need to be replaced as well, so we're going to have to add that to the checklist. Now moving forward, since we're under the car, we want to take a quick look at the transmission. Later on we're going to pull some fluid and inspect it, but you're looking to see how wet and how many leaks are on the transmission. If you have a lot of external leak, it probably means the transmission is nearing the end of its life. But take a look at this transmission in this 450 SEL. Look at it. Look at how dry it is. I hardly ever see this. Right up both sides, it's totally dry. The pan gasket doesn't appear to have any leaks at all. And this is a real plus. We don't have liquid leaking out of the bell housing, which could mean front seals have gone. So I'm excited about this transmission. Of course, we're going to do a fluid flush, we're going to do a power drain, and we're going to change the filter. That will be added to the list. We're going to be doing a thorough engine inspection later on, but when you're under the car for this first initial inspection, you want to check, same thing for leaks. Look at how clean this engine is. You don't have a lot of oil coming out of the front crank seal. You don't have a lot of wetness down here on the bottom of the pan. So that's a plus. It looks like the AC belt's been cut off, so obviously the AC is not working. But here is something that's very important. I've heard reports of a couple of transmissions that have been ruined because these flexible hoses for the transmission cooler have rotted out and broken off. So these are looking pretty old here. So that's going to go on the checklist. These need to be replaced. As far as the suspension goes, that's going to be later on. We're looking at things that'll leave you stranded, that'll be safety related in those first few months of ownership. We're doing a rolling restoration. We're not going to do a complete restoration here. But later on, after we complete the list I'm sharing with you now, and we get that all sorted, we'll come back and maybe do a more thorough inspection on the suspension and all the rubber parts that may need to be replaced. Now we're going to take a look at the exhaust system before we go up to the engine compartment. On these old cars that have been sitting a long time, you need to be concerned about possible exhaust restriction. And that's because it's sat so long, some of these pieces inside both the mufflers and the cats can fall off and actually plug your exhaust. So we're going to kind of put this on the list because I'm coming back here and looking at this. You can see some work has been done. This section has been replaced. The previous owner put some miracle paint on here to slow down the rust, but you can see the wells here. So this muffler has been replaced, and if you go back, the rear muffler has been replaced. So that's a plus. So we only need to be concerned about these being a problem in the future, and we'll get into that when we're doing further tests on the performance of the engine. You want to do a quick inspection of these upper control arms and make sure that you don't have a lot of rust in and around these areas. If these break off right here, you've got a safety issue, particularly on the W123 and W126. You can tell the shock absorbers have been changed with probably some cheap aftermarket shock, but we're not concerned about that now. We'll get this car lowered back down and we're going to go after the checklist that relates to the engine.